actually introduce some of our Senate team is here today, and we'll tell you a little bit about why we're here today. And you'll be hearing from her a little bit later, but to my left, we are fortunate to have the President Pro Tem of the Colorado State Senate, is a very accomplished Senator Betty Boyd, who you'll be hearing from. We've got Senator Gail Schwartz, who knows exactly what it means to be in the middle of a tough fight in the Senate. And up this year, critical to protecting women's choice in the results of the 2012 election, we've got Senator Evie Hudak. And we've got a couple candidates here. We've got Armando Valdez is one of our candidates from Senate District 35 in the Valley. I think that's everyone I'm aware of that's here with the Senate right now. So I just wanted to introduce the folks that are on our team that are here and tell you why we are here. We are here because we are ready to fight back. Yesterday, some of you may know that our Senate, in the Colorado Senate, actually out of 20 Democrats on our side of the aisle, 14 of us are women. And so when the Republicans tried to introduce Senate Memorial 3, which is really urging Congress to adopt the Blunt Amendment, we had something to say about that yesterday. So I want to tell you what the Blunt Amendment is and why so many of us really do feel that there is an orchestrated and very serious war against women going on. What is the Blunt Amendment? Republican Senator Blunt introduced an amendment in Congress, actually a rider to a transportation bill, that would really do this. It would mean any insurance company, any employer, any healthcare provider can deny any service to anyone at any time with no notice based on any religious or other moral belief. Now, if you're here, you probably are following current events, maybe a little bit more than average. But have you ever heard of anything that is so far-reaching? I am just trying to think of how long it is. I never thought in my lifetime I would be seeing anything like this. And of course, birth control was at the front of that, but it is far more than that. So let me briefly recap why so many of us really do feel that this amounts to a real war on women. After that Blunt Amendment was introduced, you'll recall Congressman Carrol convened a panel to discuss coverage of birth control, yet refused to include any women on that panel. 2012. Yeah, Boo is right. You'll recall that Susan G. Komen, under pressure from some religious organizations, opted to cut off funding to the largest provider of reproductive health services in the United States because their VP objected to what amounts to a mere 3% of those health care services provided. I'm sure we'll all recall when Rush Limbaugh, we can just boo on that alone. But when a young college student by the name of Sandra Fluke stood up for all of us, and he called her a prostitute and a slut and basically told her she needed to put sex videos of herself online for daring to speak for the rights of all of us. In this long line of offenses against us as women and against all of us as basic human beings, you'll recall that the Virginia legislators also recently proposed a bill that would force a medically unnecessary vaginal ultrasound on a woman before seeking an abortion, an act that is the equivalent of medical rape. Texas defunds Planned Parenthood. There are more states, and actually Romney has committed to try and end Planned Parenthood. This is not an isolated incident. We are seeing efforts to defund reproductive services, but we need to understand this goes far beyond reproductive services. It also happens to hit everyone's health care services and everybody's basic private and constitutional rights. Following this, pundit on Fox News, Liz Trotta, indicates that women in the military should expect to be raped. And indicates and indicates that we really shouldn't complain too much or worry about this because, well, there's a bureaucracy in place in case they think they're being raped too much. Our friend Foster Freeze, Santorum supporter, suggested that women should just put an aspirin between their knees. You know, I never thought I would see this kind of outrageous, offensive, not only thinking, language, and behavior in my lifetime. Like a lot of us that are here, and my mom, I personally give a lot of credit for everything she did to pioneer for her generation to work so hard to make sure that we have equal opportunity and equal civil rights. And we've talked recently, and it is really stunning to see how aggressively backwards we're going. Bill O'Reilly says that the government shouldn't pay for birth control because, quote, many women who get pregnant are blasted out of their minds when they have sex. Glenn Beck was on air claiming that it is hookers who depend on Planned Parenthood. Despite the fact that 99% of women as of 2012 have at some point used contraception and birth control in their lifetime. Can you think 99% of that? That to me is calling us hookers, all of us. Then to top it off, once they realize that there's a whole lot of people out there, like most of mainstream America, who thinks that this is offensive and extreme, we then get treated to the fact that this is actually a fiction, that the war on women is really a fiction, that it's manufactured, it's imaginary, it's like caterpillars. Folks, there is nothing more real going on to threaten the rights of all of us right now than this kind of thinking and these kind of laws. I'm wondering if you here can do me a favor real quickly, just because there's some incredible signs on what are here. So for those of you who came with signs today to speak up for our civil rights and our equality, hold them high and give us the benefit of seeing everything you've brought to help drive this point home. A huge thanks from me on behalf of the Colorado State Senate, at least those of us who support women in the Colorado State Senator. Thank you for bringing your signs to help stand up and make the point of what's here. And now it is my pleasure to introduce someone who has had a long and distinguished career standing up to represent everybody, everyone's civil rights, poor people, people on the margins, people to have access to health care, people to have education. One of our real leaders in the Colorado Senate, I told you before, she's our president pro tem, but we are absolutely fortunate to have her leadership in the Colorado State Senate, and you are lucky to have her out there fighting and representing to you. Let me introduce our president pro tem, Senator Betty Boyd.